Hey, what is up? Maverick here. Welcome to episode 2 of my multiplayer mission template tutorial series. If you haven't seen episode 1, I strongly advise you to watch that video first, because in this episode I'm just gonna continue where I left off and I'm not gonna re-explain anything. I'm also not gonna respond to any questions and comments related to content that has been covered in the first episode. Thanks for understanding. Let's get started. As you might know, in multiplayer missions it is not possible to save your game while playing. This means if you die, you're gonna have to restart the entire mission, or you're just gonna have to wait until the rest of players on the server has finished the mission and they start something new. A way around this problem is to enable respawn. This will give you the opportunity, in case of death, to respawn and continue the fight where you left off. There are multiple ways to enable respawn for multiplayer missions. I'm gonna start with the default BIS respawn types that are already in game and can be enabled from the description ext file. In the second part of the video I'm going to show you guys a more advanced respawn revive script that has been created by a community member. It's a good example about what is available and what is possible with the ARMA 3 editing engine, and it can be downloaded from ARMaholic or the BIS forums. Alright, let's get started with the BIS default respawn options or parameters that you can set from your description ext file. To do that, we're going to go back to the website I showed you in episode 1. The link is in the description also in this video. There we're going to have a look at what's available. Alright, we're back at this BIS Studio wiki, a page where you can get a lot of information about advanced scripting. I'm just going to scroll down until we get to the respawn part. In this area you get the respawn types, and right below you get the respawn delay. This will determine the amount of seconds a player has to wait until he can rejoin the fight. There's also something about vehicle respawn here, but I could not figure out how to enable it. Maybe I will cover this in another episode. I'm definitely gonna do something on vehicle respawn, but I'm probably not gonna use the default BIS version. Alright, let's start with the respawn types. You see there are 5 types available. I'm just gonna go through them one by one, show you how to enable it and show you the effects in game. The first one is none. This will disable all kinds of respawn. To enable this, I'm just gonna copy the line for the respawn and the line for the respawn delay into my description ext file. As you can see here, I got those 2 lines in my description file. I set the respawn delay to 10 seconds. You can set it to whatever amount you want. Now let's preview the mission, commit suicide and see what happens. If you enable one of those respawn types from your description ext, it will add this information on your mission select screen. I'm already in game and have thrown some frags. I just committed suicide, and as you can see there's no respawn. Mission complete? Well, obviously not. You will end up on the debriefing right away if you have it enabled. Obviously the 10-second respawn delay that we have set does not matter with this respawn type. The next respawn version is called Bird, and it is also enabled from the description ext file. If you've used this in ARMA 2, you know that after you died you will have ended up as a dove or just as a bird, and you could fly around and observe the battle from this spectator view. In ARMA 3 you don't end up as a bird anymore, but you end up pretty much in the camera SQS view that will allow you to observe the battlefield in a similar way. When you're in this view, press H to get hint information about how to control this camera. This is already a little bit better than the previous respawn type, because here at least you can observe what your other mates are doing as long as they're alive. Even though those first 2 modes are listed in the respawns, they're not actually respawns, as you can see. The next one it's called Instant, and this will make your player spawn right at the spot where he died. To enable it, you do the same thing as before. You just change the type here in the description file, and I advise you to use a respawn delay, in this example 10 seconds. I'm really suicidal today. It's kinda sick. Alright, I'm dead. You can see the whole multiplayer scoreboard pops up, and on the top you see the countdown, in my example 10 seconds, counting down to 0, and then the character will respawn at the same spot where he died. Important to know here is that the character will not just like rise from the dead, but he will be replaced by a new default unit. This results in one of the major problems with those multiplayer respawn scripts, because you will lose your custom loadout that you have selected before. There is a fix for that problem though, I will cover it in a later episode of the series. The next respawn type is called base. This will allow you to set one specific location where you want to respawn, so probably somewhere on the main base of your mission. To find this respawn position, we will have to create a marker in the editor called respawn west, east, guerrilla, or whatever faction you're using. If you're planning on making a team versus team mission, you will have to create a respawn west and east, for example, to have two separate respawn locations for both teams. To enable this respawn type, you open your description ext and just replace the phrase here with base. Don't forget to save before you preview. To add the required marker, you go to the multiplayer lobby, select your mission and hit edit. After the mission is loaded in the editor, you go to F6 markers, double click on the map. I advise you to create an empty marker, so select icon, empty, default color, and here you have to type the name respawn west or respawn east or whatever faction you're using. Entering a text is not required. If we hit OK, we see this marker here on the map and we can place it to the location where we want our respawn to be. If you select an empty marker, it will not be visible on the map while you play the mission. It is also possible to take any other kind of marker that will be displayed on the map, so you will know where you're gonna respawn in case of death. The important thing is the marker name, in this example respawn west. You can also add a text line, for example respawn, that will be displayed next to the marker on the map. The second marker was just for explanation purposes. I'm gonna remove it before a preview. Alright, I killed myself again, and apparently a friendly unit as well. You see the respawn delay countdown is ticking on the top, and once it's down to 0, I will respawn on the location where I have placed that marker before in the editor. Also with this respawn type I have the same problem with my gear. I will respawn as a new default unit and I will lose all the customized gear I might have prepared for myself before. The next respawn type is called group. In this mode I will be automatically transferred to an empty slot within my group and I can continue the fight from there. It only works as long as there are still units alive in my group. If I'm the last one, I don't have another slot to hop into and the mission will be over. Should this be the case, I will end up in the camera view as we have seen it in the respawn type called bird. From there I can still observe what's going on and see what the other players are doing, but I cannot actively support them. To enable this respawn mode I just type group in the description ext file. Let's see what's gonna happen in game. Once you die you see the camera is sort of zooming out and then zooming in to a new character, and you will be able to continue the fight from there. It appears as if you are the squad leader, you will end up in the unit that is gonna take over as commander of this group. So this is already something rather important. Also, if I kill myself a second time, I will again end up in the squad leader position. As you can see in this mode there's no respawn delay, so you can set something up in the description file, but it will not be effective. The last of the standard BIS respawn types is called side. It's kinda similar to group, but here you will be able to select any playable unit that is still alive on your side, not just within the group. After you die, the team switch window will appear that you might know from single player, and there you can select any available unit that has been created as playable in the editor for this mission. If no more units are alive, you will end up in the camera view as before. Here once more, to enable it, open your description file and change the word in the respawn line to side. Let's see how this looks in game. To show you that it's possible to switch units that are not in your group, I created an extra vehicle over there that is selected as playable in the editor but is not in my group. I'm just gonna do the standard suicide now. As you can see, as soon as I die, the team switch window appears, and here I can select from all the playable units that are still alive. If I mark a unit and go to view unit, the camera will move to it and I can see what it's currently doing. I can pick this vehicle here, and if I choose switch, we got a similar animation as we had before, and I will end up as driver in this vehicle. Now this covers the respawn options that you have with the standard BIS content. As promised, in the next part of the video I'm going to show you a downloaded script that is a bit more advanced and that has some extra features in it. I'm on the ARMA website now. This is where I usually go if I'm looking for something new, a user-made add-on or script or any other tool. To find downloads, you hit downloads obviously. Go to the ARMA 3 files. If you're looking for scripts, you go to ARMA 3 editing and then to scripts. In this category you can find all kinds of scripts, for example a unit respawn, AI respawn, vehicle respawn, something additional such as a diving computer and all kinds of things. I'm looking for a specific script today, which is a revive script. So basically what happens is that once you get shot you go into an unconscious state and your teammates can walk up to you and perform some sort of medical action that will get you back into business. A script like that will definitely increase the team play experience that you're going to have, because if they're dead you don't just spawn back at base, your teammates will actually have to try to get to you and help you back on your feet. As you can see in the background here, already on the download page you get quite some information about what the script is, what it does, maybe even a tutorial or introduction video. To download the script file you hit the download link below on the page. And once the download is complete you probably will have to unzip it using 7-zip or WinRAR file manager or something similar. If you open that folder now, you see here the Revive 4 ARMA 3 Stratus. This would be the folder as an example mission, or the script integrated in an example mission. And what's extra fancy with this download here is that it comes with a 23 pages README file. So the author of this script definitely went the full distance to help you guys by showing what parameters you can set and how to change them. This is not a tutorial on how to modify this specific script, so I'm not going to go into it any further, but we're going to move on to the part where I show you how to integrate the script in your mission. As a first step to get easy access to all the files, I advise you to copy that test mission that comes with the download into your multiplayer missions folder. Once you have installed that test mission, I advise you to actually play it to see how everything works before you add it to your project. To enable the script in our mission, we're going to have to merge the downloaded test mission with our project. To do that, I'm first going to copy all the script files into my mission folder. For this script here, we got 3 parts that we have to copy. The first one is the respawn special, the revive SQF folder, and then the revive init file. I mark them and hit Ctrl+C, and afterwards we can copy them into our mission folder. I'm not going to copy the briefing because that is set up for this mission here. I'm also not going to touch the description, init, and the mission files because I already got them in my mission. I'm going to open my mission folder and copy those 3 parts of the test mission into it. But this is the first step of enabling a downloaded script. I have the main core files in my mission folder, and now I have to enable the script from the init SQF and the description.ext file. In the second part I will have to merge some information from the init SQF and the description.ext file of the test mission with the same files in my folder, and in the third part I will have to merge some stuff in the editor. I opened the description.ext file of the test mission and you see there's quite some information in here. I don't have to copy everything because the lines at the top of this page are already set up in my mission, so I'm just gonna focus on the lines where it says description.ext settings for revive. I'm just gonna mark those areas and copy paste them into my description.ext. Here I have to switch back to my mission, MP template, I open the description file, and just below what I already have, Ctrl+V, and I got this stuff ready. Now we will have to delete some of the former lines because the respawn type and respawn delay are twice in there now, so I'm just going to remove the old one I got respawn base here, and I'm gonna set the respawn delay to 10 seconds. You can set it to a higher or lower amount, that's up to you. So the description ext file is ready to go for this script. Now we're gonna have a look at the init sqf. Just make sure to save it before you close it. To actually call the script in your mission, you will have to add a line to the init sqf. I go back to the test mission I downloaded, open the init sqf, and prepare or mark the stuff I want to copy. Also here I'm not going to copy everything, I'm going to leave the briefing SQF out because, as I said before, this is set up for the test mission and I cannot really use it in my template. I mark the stuff, I go back to my mission, MP template, I open the init SQF and it's still empty as we left it at the end of episode 1. Ctrl V, copy this line in here, and as you can see, server execute revive init, so this will actually enable the whole script for your mission. Save it and close. As a third step, I will have to open the mission in the editor and merge the test mission with my template. This revive script requires some unique markers that have to be placed on the map, otherwise it will not work correctly. To merge two missions, I will have to open one of them in the editor. I'm gonna go with the template here, and then I'm gonna hit the merge key on the top, select the revive test mission, and merge those two missions together. To see the markers that are required, I have to select F6 markers, and you see them appearing on the map now. A few of those markers just have to be placed somewhere on the map, others define a specific position, for example the respawn location. First we're gonna have a look at the units though. As you can see, those units do have a name. They're named with S1, S2, S3 and so on, and every unit has to have a name, otherwise it will not work with the whole revive. Those 4 units are the ones that came with the test mission. They're just on the map because I merged the two missions together. So I'm gonna delete them here, and I'm gonna name the units I created already for the squad I wanna use. I will have to name every unit that is selected as playable. I'm just gonna start with S1 for the team leader and repeat the process until all those units are named. This is the last one, S10, because we have a 10-player co-op mission. We're good to go, and I'm gonna save. Now let's have a look at those markers. As I mentioned before, some markers will determine specific locations, others just have to be placed on the map. The first one is the respawn west. This will determine the respawn for the west side, and the insertion will determine the exact location. So make sure to place that probably somewhere on your main base, where you got a lot of vehicles standing around, and where you basically want to start the mission, or where you want to regroup in case everyone died or whatnot. The game logic server will have to be placed anywhere on the map. I can't tell you what it does exactly, it has something to do with the script. It doesn't really matter. The center marker is probably somewhere centered in the map, as it was in the downloaded test mission, and the boot hill marker is placed somewhere on that small island. I'm gonna leave it there because that's how the mission creator intended it to, but I don't think it matters. Alright, now we're almost ready to go. We have all our units named with S1 to S10, and for this 10-player co-op mission, and we have set the respawn location. Just make sure to save it again before you quit or preview. There's one more thing that we have to modify before we're ready to go, and that's the revive init sqf file. If we open it up, you see there's a lot of information in here. This is basically the file that sets all the parameters for the revive script. It is possible to do modifications here and set the parameters to your preferences. I'm not gonna go into it now because, as you see, there's a lot of information. Have a look at the readme file that comes with the download to learn more about those adjustable parameters. We're just gonna focus on one line, and that is the list of player units. Default would be this here, S1, S2, S3, S4, because the test mission comes with 4 playable units, and our mission has 10. So we have to add those additional units, otherwise they will not be able to use the whole revive and it's probably going to bug out your mission entirely. I'm just going to add S5, S6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we got all our 10 players enabled for this revive script. Alright, this was the last step. Now our script is ready to be used in our mission. It was quite a piece of work, but don't worry, not all the scripts are that complicated or require that much effort to actually enable them for your mission. In the last few minutes of this video, I'm gonna introduce you to some of the features that come with this revive script, because if I sort of promote the script here in the video, I also want to show you what it does, and if you like it you can download it separately or you can use it from the mission template that is available for download in the video description below. I'm just gonna preview the mission as it is right now, so we're gonna see if the enabled revive script actually works, and I'm gonna show you some of the features. As you can see, as soon as we're on the map, on the top right side you see a message appearing, lives remaining 10 out of 10. This revive script sort of works with lives. So basically, whenever you get killed, you lose a life, obviously. If you team kill, you lose extra lives, and whenever you revive someone and perform some sort of team play action, you will gain a life. So it's your job to keep this in a balance. The amount of lives and all those parameters can be set in the revive init. What I just did here was placing a mobile spawn point. It is displayed as a fireplace, and only the unit that is named S1 can actually place it. The mobile spawn position will allow you to respawn closer to the action instead of respawning back at base at the insertion marker. If you get shot, you see on the top the respawn delay as set in the parameters, and after that you go into this unconscious camera. Here you get a few things you can do. On the top left side you can choose from different camera angles. On the right side you can choose different units in the area that you can spectate. I gotta warn you though, I tried it I think once or twice with the camera there, and as soon as I picked another camera my game crashed. It's possible that this stuff is not entirely compatible with the ARMA 3 alpha yet, because the script support from ARMA 2. In the center area you see the revive counter. This determines the amount of time your teammates have to get to you and revive you before you respawn at the insertion point. At the top you see a marker called mobile and one insertion. Those are actually buttons. If you don't want to wait to be revived, you can click on one of those buttons and you will spawn at the respective position. The mobile button is only available if the team leader has placed the mobile spawn, as I did before with this fireplace. If none of my teammates have realized that I am down, I can use the call for help button, and this will notify my teammates, and if I got AI in my team they will automatically move up to me and perform the revive action. If no one's around to revive me, I can use one of those buttons for respawn. The insertion button will always be available because this is sort of the main respawn position that I have set with the marker on the map in the editor. The mobile button will only be available if the team leader has placed the mobile spawn position in the game already. The hint on the top right side indicates me the number of lives. Every time I die and get revived I will lose a life, and every time I revive a teammate I will gain a life. I just got punished for team killing, but as soon as I revive this dude I will get another life back. Another nice feature of the script is the ability to perform first aid actions. If I walk up to an unconscious unit, look at it and use the mouse wheel, I get a few options. For example, I can immediately revive the person, or I can drag it. So this will let me evacuate a unit on the fire from the battlefield, bring him to cover and then revive. If I'm dragging a unit I can also select to carry him, but that doesn't seem to work properly. The animation works as far as you see here. You can pick up the unit, but then it's not really placed on your back as it's supposed to, and as soon as you start moving you kind of drop the unit. So I guess here also an issue because the script is a port over from ARMA 2, so you might want to avoid carrying units around. To revive someone you select revive from your scroll menu. You see your character performing some sort of first aid action, and after that the unconscious unit will get up and you will get your bonus life. In addition to all this, you get a more advanced healing system. For example, if you just get injured, you can not only use the medic equipment that is actually in the ARMA 3 Alpha, like the med kits and the first aid packs, but there's some additional stuff you can choose from your scroll menu, such as bandage, wound or healing. I'm pretty sure that's something that came into this script back with the ARMA 2 vanilla version, because there you didn't have anything like bandages or first aid packs and whatnot. In ARMA 3 this would not be really necessary because you get first aid kits and med packs. Alright, those were the main features of this revive script. As I mentioned multiple times in this video, have a look at the readme file. There are a lot more parameters that you can set to really customize the script to your preferences and make it fit perfectly for your mission. This is the end of episode 2 of this MP mission template tutorial series. I hope you all understand how to integrate respawn into your missions, be that with the default BIS versions or a more advanced script that you can download, such as the revive script I showed you here. Please show me some love by liking the video, leaving a comment and subscribe to my channel. Stay tuned for episode 3 that will be online soon. I'm Swiss Maverick, and I catch you later. Hey, what is up? Swiss Maverick here. Welcome to episode 2 of my multiplayer mission template tutorial series. If you haven't seen episode 1, I strongly advise you to watch that video first, because in this episode I'm just gonna continue where I left off and I'm not gonna re-explain anything. I'm also not gonna respond to any questions and comments related to content that has been covered in the first episode. Thanks for understanding. Let's get started. As you might know, in multiplayer missions it is not possible to save your game while playing. This means if you die, you're gonna have to restart the entire mission, or you're just gonna have to wait until the rest of players on the server has finished the mission and they start something new. A way around this problem is to enable respawn. This will give you the opportunity, in case of death, to respawn and continue the fight where you left off. There are multiple ways to enable respawn for multiplayer missions. I'm gonna start with the default BIS respawn types that are already in game and can be enabled from the description ext file. In the second part of the video I'm going to show you guys a more advanced respawn revive script that has been created by a community member. It's a good example about what is available and what is possible with the ARMA 3 editing engine, and it can be downloaded from Armaholic or the BIS forums. Alright, let's get started with the BIS. The first one is none. This will disable all kinds of respawn. To enable this, I'm just gonna copy the line for the respawn and the line for the respawn delay into my description ext file. As you can see here, I got those two lines in my description file. I set the respawn delay to 10 seconds. You can set it to whatever amount you want. Now let's preview the mission, commit suicide and see what happens. If you enable one of those respawn types from your description ext, it will add this information on your mission select screen. I'm already in game and have thrown some frags. I just committed suicide, and as you can see there's no respawn. Mission complete? Well, obviously not. You will end up on the debriefing right away if you have it enabled. Obviously the 10-second respawn delay that we have set does not matter with this respawn type. The next respawn version is called Bird, and it is also enabled from the description ext file. If you've used this in ARMA 2, you know that after you died you would have ended up as a dove or just as a bird, and you could fly around and observe the battle from this spectator view. In ARMA 3 you don't end up as a bird anymore, but you end up pretty much in the camera SQS view that will allow you to observe the battlefield in a similar way. When you're in this view, press H to get hint information about how to control this camera. This is already a little bit better than the previous respawn type, because here at least you can observe what your other mates are doing as long as they're alive. Now, even though those first two modes are listed in the respawns, they're not actually respawns, as you can see. The next one it's called instant, and this will make your player spawn right at the spot where he died. To enable it, you do the same thing as before, as default respawn options or parameters that you can set from your description ext file. To do that, we're going to go back to the website I showed you in episode 1. The link is in the description also in this video. There we're going to have a look at what's available. Alright, we're back at this BIS Studio wiki, a page where you can get a lot of information about advanced scripting. I'm just going to scroll down until we get to the respawn part. In this area you get the respawn types, and right below you get the respawn delay. This will determine the amount of seconds a player has to wait until he can rejoin the fight. There's also something about vehicle respawn here, but I could not figure out how to enable it. Maybe I will cover this in another episode. I'm definitely gonna do something on vehicle respawn, but I'm probably not gonna use the default BIS version. Alright, let's start with the respawn types. You see there are 5 types available. I'm just gonna go through them one by one, show you how to enable it, and show you the effects in game.